over some stuff, some questions that I've gotten about the feelings during attempting astral projection, like different things that are sensed. I've talked about the heart chakra, and I thought it was my heart pounding. This was the first time that I really had like a major event attempting to astral project. And it was when it felt like I was hit by, I would describe it as lightning because it was just the strongest, most intense thing that beyond what I could imagine. And then there was a very bright light outside of my window, and there were instructions to step into the body of light. When that happened, part of what happened was I felt an extremely strong pounding in my chest. It felt like it was my heart pounding. And I got some questions about that. I was like excited and shaken, in this like amazed way by what happened. And I did get up and kind of run a little bit over to another part of the room. And I did check my pulse because the feeling in my chest was so strong that I wanted to see what was going on with my body. So I checked my pulse, and my pulse, although was a little elevated because I jumped up, I think really, it wasn't the same feeling as that intense pounding feeling that I felt. And that's when I realized it was different from my actual pulse. So I didn't have like a physiological event that I could pinpoint. It was this large, it felt like a drum just being pounded in my chest. And I then told my brother about it. And I was talking to him about it because he was familiar with astral projection a lot way before I was. And I told him, I'm like, hey, like this happened, and, explained to him, about the pounding feeling. He said, oh, that's your heart chakra. And then he started talking about it, and I thought, wow, I've heard of chakras and, somewhat familiar with chakras, but it wasn't until then that I made the connection that I really like looked into, a particular chakra. And yeah, Anahata chakra is the center of the body and soul. It's believed to be the seat of the divine, and it is here that we connect with our higher selves. And then here's like different things about it. Wellness, wholeness, connectedness, self-expression, inner strength, emotional intelligence. Okay, so I want to go into Siddhis, which are divine qualities. They're like powers that develop with activating that chakra. Okay, so here I found some of the Siddhis. Some say that meditating on the heart chakra, also known as Anahata, can lead to Siddhis or supernatural powers. It says speech mastery. It says there's a level of attractiveness that's associated with that chakra. And it says being able to leave and enter the body at will and making decisions from the heart. It's connected with leaving the body at will. So it made sense to me when I saw that, like, oh, wow, that's something that I didn't know. And, my attempt to leave the body at will activated my heart chakra, which makes sense because that's a chakra associated with leaving and entering the body at will. And I've felt it more than once. I haven't felt it as intensely lately. I've mostly been feeling like the vibrational state, like this tingling electrical feeling. It kind of feels like a motor. But it is, quite an intense feeling that can be overwhelming. It feels like it's physical, but then I realize that it's not actually physical, that it's this energetic thing that's happening, and it's a chakra that's igniting due to one's intention to leave the body, leave one's body at will. If someone was having let's see, other CDCs are generally considered to be powers that allow humans to control themselves, others in the natural world. It's located at the center of the chest, behind the sternum, and is associated with love, compassion, gratitude, and the heart, lungs, arms, hands, and thymus gland. It's also said to help balance emotions, build relationships, and increase self-awareness. When the heart chakra is open, activated, and balanced, it can invite positivity, empathy, compassion, and love into life. Meditation. Okay, so I read that already. They become a master of speech. They are dear to the gender they are attracted to. Their presence controls the senses of others, and they can leave and enter the body at will. Now, if someone's actually having maybe like a physiological response, maybe they're entering a panic state or something's going on, that would be something else that a person would have to address. If it is the activation of the heart chakra, it's just, then in that case, it's just what happens because one is attempting to leave the body at will. So that'll open up, and again, it feels like someone is pounding really hard on a drum inside of a person's chest. It feels like it's the heart. It's very intense, and it does actually, it can be felt in the body. That's the other thing. It can be felt in the body, but it's not exactly like the organs and the body itself. And that's what's sort of difficult to describe. But yeah, so that's part of it. It can be overwhelming. I would say when going through that, to just go through it and just be in meditation and just be in meditation. And things will, and once they're intending to leave the body, it will. And so one is holding that intention and just holding on to that calm meditative practice and allowing those forces to do what it is that they're going to do. It's same with a vibrational state. Vibrational state kicks in and it feels like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I'm aware, here I am. It feels like sleep paralysis. Am I supposed to try to move? Am I supposed to? And I mainly just try to just ride out those sensations. I find that I will sometimes find myself after that, all of a sudden I'll be in a very, very calm state and I'll be able to move around and I'll be out of the body. And I just have to stay aware through that process. I think that there are like these walls that are that a person has to pass through, or these like passageways that a person has to pass through to get to other realms. And sometimes it can feel like foggy and staticky and electric and difficult to stay aware as one is passing through different realms. And so a person just has to focus on staying aware and like that's what they're intending, and they're just staying like awake, you know, in the state that they're in, holding their awareness calmly as if in meditation or really in a meditative state. And eventually, usually one will be able to go through into another realm. I mean, sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes a person falls asleep, or a person sits up and shakes it off. There's a lot of different things that can happen, but I find that when I'm able to hold on and stay aware and stay calm through the process, even though it involves a lot of intense experiences, that it will lead to an out-of-body experience. So there's a lot to overcome. There's like fear, there's handling that intensity. It's a lot of energy. There's a lot of power there. A person is their like inner self that is more that's very, very powerful is coming through, and a person is working with their higher person, their higher self, or their inner self. And there's a lot of like power and movement, and the waking self is there kind of going on a ride and trying to stay aware and trying to hang on and go through it and to have further experiences in other realms. So there's a lot that goes into that. A person can think about it on their own and think about experiences that they've had, and how they can stay calm if it happens again. They can think about, why does they want to do that? What are the implications? Like what benefits there are to their, to their lives in going through it. And maybe that'll be encouraging for them to be able to remain calm. It's so exciting because it's so life changing. It's so life changing. And when something like that is happening, it's hard to stay calm. And I think that's why the practice of meditation is so important, because meditation is teaching a person to be calm and aware, in a calm and aware state. And there's a training that takes place there when one does that. And so when a situation like that happens, one can go into a meditative state, can find that place and just hold on and go through it. And hopefully will be able to hold on to awareness and be aware as they move into another state of awareness or another realm. So hopefully that's helpful. And yeah,